Hello, scumbags. We are back here again for Vote No Confidence, the new and improved Vote No Confidence. That's what I like to call it. Here with Andrew Fantasia as usual, and this is the December 1st edition. It's Star Wars month, Andrew. What can we say? It's Star Wars month. We're literally counting down the days. It's not months anymore. It's days until the Last Jedi.
Well, for the first 28 years of my life, December was always the chocolate calendar day month. But yeah, you're right. Now it is also the Star Wars month on top of that. But I have not seen yet a Star Wars chocolate calendar.
No, yeah. The only one I keep seeing is that Lego Star Wars calendar. But I haven't decided to pay my $50 to buy something like that yet. But yeah, we need the chocolate one. The chocolate one's the number one thing. So, as you know, Vote No Confidence is where we argue two topics. And, yeah, you guys get to vote on it. Like, below in the comment section, let us know what you think. What are the options? And, Andrew, what is our topic for today?
Our topic today is, will Reylo kill Luke Skywalker?
Ooh, will Reylo kill Luke Skywalker? Very timely, considering it is Last Jedi month. Very fitting, absolutely. So, my option, what I got on this, Andrew, I should say James flipped the coin, and I got yes, Reylo will kill Luke. And of course, Andrew, you got?
I got no, that they will not kill my friend Luke.
Okay. Absolutely. So I'll start this thing off. I'll say, firstly, the best thing that I enjoy about this is that there's no time period on this. We're not saying they're going to kill him in Last Jedi. So I'm gonna say yes, that they will kill Luke. Sorry, we're talking about. Oh, 1 second. Oh, kill Luke. All right, shoot. All right. James, you might have to do some editing there for a second. I got it mixed up with the Snoke thing. Okay. I'm going to go yes on this one, and specifically altogether that they will kill Luke because that's what just these trailers seem to be going towards. Like, the trailer ends with the temptation of Rey. Like the whole time that we're watching Force Awakens, it's all about, do we see anger in Rey? Do we see the dark side in Rey? And there's several points of Force Awakens that you can really look at that you see the anger, and she's getting tempted by Kylo in this movie, and the fact that her way in terms of mixing with Luke Skywalker is very, very combative, right? Like, Luke perhaps will have some moments in this movie where he will decide to train Rey, but he has those moments where he's just like, no, full on out, will not train Rey. I don't think Luke's dying in this movie, but I do believe that Luke will die in Episode 9, and of all the ways for him to die, it's by the hands of both Rey and Kylo. It's the only fitting way I see it. So, Andrew, what do you think?
Oh, boy. See, well, I'm under the impression that things in the story department have changed due to the fact that we lost Carrie Fisher. We all heard the tales about how Episode 9 was supposed to be her movie. But now, obviously, it can't be her movie. So we're not getting Leia, it sounds like. Unless they recast her, which I'm cool with at this point, but it doesn't sound like they have. So it sounds like we're not getting Leia. So to have no Leia, no Han, and no Luke, I think is just too far out of left field for this trilogy anyway. I don't think Luke is going anywhere in 8 or 9. I think he has the staying power. He has the potential. Basically, like, he didn't really get a movie last time, so he is going to drag himself out through 8 and 9. He's going to go back on these adventures. Unlike Han in 7, and this isn't to discount Han in any way, but unlike Han in 7, I feel like Luke's presence in this new trilogy comes with another story arc. Han was kind of, he just wanted to find his son, but it wasn't really, his story arc wasn't something that was like crucial to the plot. He was there to help out Rey. Mm-hmm. And I believe Luke is also there to help out Rey, but she's got to help him too. He needs help just as much as she does. And that means he's a character who we need to see. We need to see him fulfilled, just the same way we need to see Rey and Finn and Kylo fulfilled. So I don't think that fulfillment is going to come at the hands of a murder from these two wacky kids and their rap music and their loud stereos and their apps and all these things that young kids have these days. I don't think they're going to be going after old man Luke with lightsabers and killing him, because I believe that his arc involves becoming whatever it is he's destined to become. And I don't think a murder victim is one of those things.
Oh, I don't know. You see Star Wars altogether, and there's a lot of murdering. Like those poor battle droids in the prequels, they get murdered all the time. And speaking of Battlefront, just for a moment, I've been murdering a lot of battle droids in that game. But in general, if we're talking about Luke altogether and his arc in this movie, like I'm not even suggesting that he's not going to get killed at the beginning of Episode 9. He's going to have, I believe, pretty much two full movies of arc for Luke Skywalker, of story for Luke Skywalker, of him interacting with all these characters that we love. Like I believe if they are going to kill, if Rey and Kylo are going to kill Luke Skywalker in Episode 9, I believe it's going to be at the end. Like towards the end of the movie, that's where it's going to happen, and maybe in some type of way, Rey. Them killing Luke is what really turns her towards Snoke, and then heading at Snoke and taking him out in some type of way. But regardless, I feel like we're gonna get plenty of Luke Skywalker. We're gonna get a lot of Luke Skywalker, and the fact that like not holding him off to more movies later, like you could do like previews and stuff like that, but again, we don't know where this Rian Johnson trilogy is going to take place at all yet. I'm assuming it's not going to be episodic, but we all know that eventually they will get to Episode 12 and all those other ones. Like we'll go deep into the episodic numbers later, and I believe that those ones will be more following the newer characters. Like the older characters will die off in a certain way because, again, like it's I don't want to get too dark here, but older gentlemen die. They can't just be Luke. Can't just be 112 and still going out on these adventures with all that stuff. He's a weathered man. Like he's like Obi-Wan in A New Hope. Like his time is gonna come, and of all the ways for him to go out again, to get the irony of being killed by one of his pupils, two of his pupils in this case, because again, I think we can assume that Rey will be trained enough by Luke that I can consider her a pupil of his, and for him to be killed off that way, it's almost an irony thing. Like he could have an ironic type of ending towards his entire story. But again, I feel like we're gonna get plenty of Luke in these next two movies, and we're gonna get that arc, and we're gonna get a bittersweet ending towards him, because again, it's right that he does pass, like similar to Obi-Wan in A New Hope, but you also feel very sad because, again, it's much like Han. It's like no one wanted him to die, I don't think, except for maybe Harrison Ford. I'm not even sure about that.
See, I've always been of the mind that a very rare thing in the Star Wars galaxy, an extremely rare thing, is a little something called death by natural causes. You don't see that too often. I think Yoda is the only one who had that luxury.
Yeah.
And even that death I would call death by George Lucas. I think that we are, because of Carrie, again, Leia's fate is not going to be death by natural causes. I could be wrong, but I mean, that's such a big question mark. Leia, that's a whole other discussion. But that, as it stands now, it looks like where we're going to end off with Leia Organa is not going to be and she lived happily ever after to the end of her days and died peacefully in her sleep. I don't think that's what we're getting with Leia, which means both Han and Leia will have been essentially strucken down before their time. And to do that to the third of the big three, to do that to Luke as well, to kill him outside of natural causes, I don't want to say the word disrespectful, because I think Disney has been very respectful to the franchise. So that's not the right word to kind of convey what I'm thinking here, but it feels like a very harsh thing to say, okay, we're going to make this trilogy. We're going to bring everybody back that you loved, but those three main characters that you love, we're just going to smack them dead one after another. Especially Luke, seeing as how everything he went through regarding his close relationship, if you want to call it that, with his father. Obviously, Leia is Anakin's daughter too, but Leia never really had that connection with Anakin / Vader that Luke did. And when you look back at Luke's life and everything he accomplished, and specifically everything he accomplished regarding Vader, he was tempted more than once by the darkness, and he turned it away. He was faced with overwhelming odds and possible death more than once. And through his compassion for people and through his own skills, he got away. So I think to have Luke die by murder, by dark side users murdering him, no less, that sort of flies in the face of what Luke has overcome. And if that ends up being the case, if Luke ends up dying because he's killed by someone using the dark side of the Force, someone like Kylo, someone like Dark Rey, then it turns everything that he has done into sort of paddling a canoe without oars. Like he has been like treading water with his hands this whole time, and now it's like, well, he's only been delaying the inevitable, and now his canoe's going to sink. Whereas if he dies of natural causes, if he gets to be that one of the big three characters who goes on and lives the rest of his life, which isn't long, because like you said, he's an old guy now, you know, he's no spring chicken. He's going for those early birds at Denny's. If he gets to live whatever's left of his life in peace and die of old age, that strengthens everything he's done. That means, yes, he swam through that muck, but he got out. It wasn't just delaying the inevitable. It wasn't just a matter of, yeah, you can turn down the Vader and then you can turn down the Emperor, but sooner or later the dark side's going to kill you. It kind of lends an air of hopelessness to everything that happened before, and Luke is literally a new hope. So I don't like the idea of his whole quest having that air of hopelessness to it. So giving him that death, giving him that Reylo murders him death, demeans what I think. Again, it's not disrespectful to him. I understand that, you know, Disney has been very respectful to these characters, but I think it just demeans the whole idea of what Luke embodies, which is hope.
Yeah, I mean, well, altogether, I guess, in terms of, you know what, I'm going to touch on one thing real quick, because you mentioned the part with Leia not having a very strong relationship with her father. Let's not forget they had those wonderful moments when she was captured by Vader, and he brought out the British accent in her. Like those are special moments that Leia can have. You know, there's no other characters that really bring out that. Like both him and Grand Moff Tarkin, they had that special relationship with Leia. But in general, I feel like when we're talking about this in terms of it being like, you know, perhaps disrespectful in terms of like again, disrespectful, like you said, it may not be the right word to describe this entirely, but like, yeah, to have been through it, to have seen so much shit in a certain way. And for you kids that are watching, I apologize. Maybe James will beep that out or something like that. But regardless, like Obi-Wan is a very similar type of situation, I feel like, where he had been through war, like throughout it all, and he almost thought that, you know, if we had just seen prequels, then for his end, it might have been just something simple as him just going out to that desert and just, you know, dying on a Tusken Raider carcass somewhere, or I don't know, just going out there and just being like that. But again, he had to go back into the fray, like, you know, he got killed by Vader, and after his whole time of having that spectacular lava fight sequence with him and Anakin, to be just killed that way is kind of like, again, like poetic justice in a certain way, where he was killed by one of his pupils. Again, like I feel like there's a big like comparative line between old Luke right now and Obi-Wan in both the prequel trilogy and in the original trilogy. And yeah, I just feel in terms of Luke and his through line in terms of the way it would go, like, again, him being on that island right now, it might as well have been Obi-Wan on Tatooine. and now he's being brought back into fray, brought back into battle, and like in a sense, like Luke has done a lot of fighting. Like, you know, he had, I believe, 4 years is what the original trilogy encompassed. I believe it was 4 years of stories roughly, and yeah, he's been through a lot of battles, and it's only you only get to keep going into battle so many times before it catches up to you. Like there's a point where just your time has come. I feel like in that type of way, similar to Obi-Wan, it's gonna come at the hands of his pupils, the people that he has taught how to become Force users and how to become Jedi in one way or another. Not entirely, because again, I feel like Snoke is going to be a big part of Kylo's at least training, and by some way Rey's training in this upcoming movie. But regardless, like I'm really comparing just Luke's story to Obi-Wan's story, and I'm seeing so many comparative things with those two characters that I'm almost seeing the same ending for them as well.
See, now that's an interesting point that you made. You said I think the key word you said there is poetic, and I have a feeling that, first of all, the whole Reylo thing. Let's address that really quickly, because the Reylo thing is something that we don't even know if it's going to be a thing. There are many people who want to see it. There are some people who don't want to see it. I could go either way.
I think Reylo in general, I think we can say that they're going to be a strong relationship. Whether they're going to be romantic or not is the real question.
Right.
But yeah, but they will be a strong relationship together.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, go ahead.
There's the whole idea of him tempting her and she joins him. That's still very much up in the air. As far as I'm concerned, that trailer was a huge misdirect, and Rian Johnson is just sitting somewhere right now like the Grinch going, I got him. But if it happens, if Reylo does happen, I am of the mind that poetic rhyming is going to throw us for a loop by not rhyming. Because we've seen all the backlash about Force Awakens, how, you know, it was good, but it was just a new hope, blah, blah, blah. So we know at this point that Lucasfilm wants to move forward while still looking backward. And I think a good way to do that is to trick us into thinking we are getting the poetry, as George would say, you know, they rhyme. They're going to trick us into thinking we're going to get that, but the next verse of this stanza isn't necessarily going to rhyme, and it's going to be a good thing. It's going to throw us off. So to that point, if Reylo does become a thing, if he does say, hold out his hand and say, join me, I'm going to teach you the dark side or whatever, and I'll train you instead of Luke because I don't like him. And Rey's like, okay. She goes with him. And she becomes filled with darkness or what have you. If that happens, I'm going to put money on it right now. I don't have any money on me because I'm a poor man, but if I had a bill in my hand, I would put it down and I would say, I'm putting money that if that does happen, they're not killing Luke Skywalker. They're killing Supreme Leader Snoke. They're doing what Vader wanted to do in Empire, is they are killing the guy in charge and they're saying, no, this throne, this is our throne now. Come at me. And that is not only interesting, but it's going to throw us for a loop, because we are now going to think, what the hell comes next? If they kill Luke, it's just like, well, these dark side people killed Luke, just like they killed Obi-Wan, and now we're going to go through the same thing all over again. But if these guys kill Snoke, now it becomes a matter of, okay, Luke and Leia, if she's still around, and Finn and Poe are going to have to get together and be like, what do we do about Rey and her crazy new boyfriend? Like, they are killing people. And that is something that is unfamiliar territory for us. That's something where we're like, we don't know how to begin theorizing about that because we've never seen that before. And then all of a sudden things are going to start changing and evolving. And Star Wars is going to do what it has promised to do. It's going to start moving forward. It's going to take those steps forward. It's going to give us the familiar, but it's going to give it to us in all new scenarios. And I think that that's the perfect way to mix the old with the new, is have a temptation to the dark side, but use it to usurp the dark side, not the light.
Well, there we go. Those are our two sides on this whole thing. And the funny thing about what you just said at the end is, in some type of way, maybe both things can happen. Because I feel like I feel like Snoke is going to die by the end of this as well. Perhaps they'll throw us for a loop, and he'll be somehow the one that survives. But again, it's all about what you guys think now. You've heard our sides. Comment below. Let us know what you think. What do you think? Is Reylo going to kill Luke? Are they going to kill Snoke? Are they going to kill Chewbacca? Or are they just going to go like, on a big porg killing spree where there's be slicing those mother effers all over the place. But yeah.
That's so 15.
Yeah.
So 15.
Yeah. So comment below. I believe we'll also have a voting device up there on your eye. Just press the eye and you can vote there as well. We can look at the percentages. So yeah. Andrew, thank you for joining us again, as usual. And let us know where we can find you.
You can find me in my house eating pork. It's delectable. Try it with Montreal steak spice. And when I'm not doing that, you can find me on Facebook at Andrew Fantasia. And you cannot find me online playing Battlefront because I don't play online games.
Yeah, I hear specific places like poutine places, like you can actually add porg as like an additional thing onto your poutine here in Canada. So whenever you vote, just go to the poutine place, go to Smoke's Poutineery, just ask them, hey, can I have extra porg on that? I just want to see what their reaction would be. And I am. So yes, go ahead.
Exactly like Rhino.
Rhino, of course. The Spider-Man villain.
Oh no.
Okay. And I'm Rob McDonald. You can follow me at Robert E. McDonald on both Instagram and Twitter. And download Stardust. Follow me there. I am at Rob Mac on Stardust. So follow me there. React to stuff. React to the trailers. When you see Last Jedi, react to that. It's a really cool app. So check it out. And as per usual,
may the Force be with you.
Always.
I don't know what that was.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.